He obviously was a normal, energetic young man, but he was also in a hurry to serve his country, which he did to the ultimate.
It was during a heavy artillery bombardment on the 12th April that Corporal Lord was killed in action when he was directly hit by an artillery round shell. He was only 20 years old at the time.
More than 4 million American families sent their sons and daughters to serve in uniform during the Great War. It shook the world for 4 years, claiming 20 million lives. One of those lives lost was Corporal Leonard Antoine Lord, serial number 110198. A native of St. Sebastian, Quebec, Canada, he grew up across the border in Swanton, Vermont. He would later enlist for service in the U.S. Army on May 14, 1917, at Camp Ethan Allen, and was assigned to Company B, 103rd Machine Gun Battalion, 26th Infantry, Yankee Division, for service in France, arriving on October 3, 1917. This is his story.
Well, Corporal Lord, of course, was my uncle, my father's brother. His father, of course, was my grandfather. And through the years, I've heard many, many stories, some good, some not so good, about Leonard Lord. But the fact of it is, he gave his life for his country. My grandfather worked for the old Canada and Atlantic, and it went bankrupt. And it was a local railroad. And when they settled the bankruptcy, somehow or another, my grandfather came into some money, some settlement money, and his two sisters were already down here in Swanton, married, one to the Bells and the other one in the Roys. They came to Swanton, and he bought that particular farm on the Woods Hill, Four Corners, because it was a one-room schoolhouse right there. The ironic part of it was when my grandfather, Leonard Lord's father, came to Swanton, he bought that particular farm because that school was there. Leonard never went there. He wouldn't go there. He refused to go there. He went to school in Swanton. Stories that I've been told about Leonard Lord, none of them ever indicated that he cared at all about the farm or that school. He wouldn't go to that school. And the way he got transportation to go to Swanton was there was a teacher that lived in the immediate area that taught at Swanton High School, and she said she canvassed the area, told everybody, anybody that wants to go to Swanton High School because it has individual grades rather than all the grades in one room, can come with me because I have to go to teach, and I come back every day after I teach. And that's what he did. In his younger years, he lived in Swanton, of course, and he bought himself a 1916 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Swanton then was a thriving metropolis, World War I, and Leonard would come off on First Street, in the middle of the driveway in Swanton Village. There was a watering trough because it was full of horses then. He would come off the First Street with his motorcycle, which had a sidecar on it. He would circle the watering trough twice very fast, scare many of the horses, make many of the people angry at him. Then he would go up the backside of the park and go about his business. That was just one thing. There was many others. He was going to, after he terrorized Swanton Village with the 1916 Harley-Davidson, the people who he was living with at the time, because he left the farm, where their last name was Bell, very well-known people in Swanton. And they decided they had to get this terrorizing kid off the street with his big Harley, with the sidecar on it. So they got him to go to Montreal to train as a machinist. While he's in Montreal, World War I breaks out in Canada before the United States declared war. After Canada declared war, he immediately joined the Canadian Army. 6 months later, the United States declared war. He left Montreal, came down to Swan, and joined the American Army. And there he went from there. He obviously was a normal, energetic young man, but he was also in a hurry to serve his country, which he did to the ultimate. Yes.